special rapporteurs to go investigate cases of potential human rights deficiencies around the planet. So a couple of them decided to look into Guantanamo Bay. That's what greeted President Bush with his morning coffee before we all filed into the Oval Office. That morning we go in, and it's a little bit overwhelming to walk into the Oval Office. You know, there's the president actually in 3 dimensions talking and shaking hands, and there was the Secretary of State, and there was the National Security Advisor, and the White House Chief of Staff, and the U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations. And we all sit down, and President Bush starts the meeting by saying, "What is this stuff I'm reading about this Guantanamo? There's a war on terror going on. You guys didn't even go down there to visit the place," which is true because they weren't allowed in, didn't stop them from issuing a report. And at the very last minute, from the side door of the Oval Office, in comes Vice President Cheney. And I think, regardless of your political leanings, most people would agree he's not the warmest and fuzziest guy in Washington. He was even less warm and fuzzy on this fine morning because it was the day after he had shot his hunting partner in the face.
Oh my.
So there we were with the president quite unhappy about the Guantanamo Bay report, and the vice president kind of leaning on his fist and growling at us across the coffee table. And as official UN note taker, I was thinking, when do we get out of here? But in fact, I couldn't have been further wrong. Because for the next hour plus in fact, well beyond the allotted time for the meeting, the 2 leaders went over issue after issue after issue where the United States was working with the United Nations towards common goals. Whether it was trying to bring about stability in Iraq, or dealing with the Taliban in Afghanistan, or with Iran's nuclear ambitions, or with North Korea's nuclear capability, or with the genocide in Darfur, where the president was extraordinarily well informed, like the Sudan desk officer, pushing to get a UN peacekeeping mission on the ground there. On issue after issue, it was clear to me that the 2 parties work best when they work together. The United Nations will fail without United States support, leadership, and engagement. That's a pure fact. I would also argue that the United States can achieve many of its foreign policy goals better by working in partnership with member states of the United Nations, by taking advantage of the tools that the United Nations system has to offer to try to bring the community of humankind together to deal with the issues that we face going into the 21st century that no one country can address by itself.